What's going on? It's Ed here from ClicksGeek, and I am here with Jared Tangir. What's up, Jared?
Hey, Ed, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing good. All right, Jared, name your business, Elevated Audience. Give everyone like a 20-second pitch on who you are and what you do.
All right, Elevated Audience is a web design and SEO firm in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We service clients all across the United States, and we work with businesses that are established and startups, and we help them kind of put together a strategy and scale their business, generating more leads.
Awesome. And oddly enough, Jared lives like a couple miles down the road from Rob, which is very bizarre. Small world.
Exactly.
So give us like 60 seconds, 90 seconds on how you got into the space, a little bit about your background.
I developed an app about 2017, 2018 for the event industry. Was looking for ways to market it. It was for the event industry. It was an event staffing application. Oddly enough, I launched it in January of 2020, 3 months before the event industry shut down. So, 2 years of hard work kind of hit a brick wall. But I learned a ton about SEO, about online marketing. I have a degree in marketing. This was really one of the first times I got to put it to use. And SaaS SEO is really hard, really competitive. So I kind of dove headfirst into the fire, realized how much I loved it, realized how much I love the strategy, the analytics, direction based on, using numbers to drive your strategy. So from there, I said, you know what, I'm going to open myself up to, I was in the event industry. So I started Elevated Audience, opened myself up to clients, started working with other business owners and entrepreneurs in the area. And kind of found my niche in SEO, right? We offer web design as a kind of a complementary service, but SEO is what we're experts in.
Awesome. So I know you have a lot of local clients, but your clients are also regionally and nationally as well, not just localized?
There are, yeah. I mean, we have them as far west as California and as far south as the Florida Keys.
Got it. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So safe to say your bread and butter is local business SEO?
Yeah, that's our core SEO specialty, is working with local service area businesses.
Got it. When you were saying SaaS SEO, and if you can make it in SaaS SEO, you could transition over to local SEO. And in my brain, I was going New York. If you can make it there, you can make it. No, that's where my
there we go. Nothing wrong with bringing Frank Sinatra into the conversation.
Yeah, but it's true. If you can do well, if you could figure out how to rank an SEO for rank in SaaS well, or in e-commerce, everything applies. It's just even a little bit easier on the local side, technique wise. So it's a great proving ground, that's for sure.
Yeah, and what I love about local is 9 times out of 10, I'm working directly with the business owner, right? Mm-hmm. These men and women, they're working on their businesses. They're involved in it 110%, right? They're too busy to really learn it themselves, right? So they trust, they partner with guys like us, with businesses like ours to do it for them. You know this, but the sense of satisfaction when you can get somebody that influx of leads that they're looking for, help them take their business to the next level that they're, that they've been working hard to achieve. It is really rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing we were talking about off camera is, well, I'll ask you this, and then I'll kind of backfill with some of our experience with it. But what's your take on a customer that comes to you and says, "I've got my last dollar, save my business"? What is your approach to
that? Proceed with caution. Okay. There could be, without looking under the hood, it's impossible to know what's wrong with the engine. You know what I mean? It could be a sales problem. It could be a lead problem. If you're down to your last dollar, it most likely is a strategy problem, like a planning problem. Because we should have talked 6 months ago, right? We should have talked 2 years ago. There's signals that are apparent leading up to that. And it puts a lot of pressure on us to perform. And ultimately, if you're on your last dollar, SEO is not the strategy for you. You need to be working with you guys, right? That's where I would send them right away. You need a PPC campaign.
Yeah, I like the idea of you need to fix a today problem before you get to the tomorrow problem. SEO is a tomorrow thing that you're working on. It's a mid to long term strategy. You can pick up some for your labor on the long tail stuff, but really it's a mid to long term strategy that you want to invest in. And you got to solve the today issue. You got to have leads coming in the door. It's got to be cold calling. It's got to be Google ads, Facebook ads. Facebook Marketplace, whatever your niche is, there are ways you could get leads flowing in today. And SEO typically isn't that approach. Once the trucks are moving and things are going well, then you say, okay, got some money. I'm paying myself. I'm making a living wage. Where can I reinvest this to bolster the stability of the business? And that's where people like Jared come in on the SEO front that can really kick things up to the next level. So
it's a scalable SEO is a scaling strategy, right? Like that's really when you're ready to scale, when you're ready to try and hit that next revenue target, that's where you start evaluating SEO as a strategy.
Yeah, I remember 5 years ago, more than 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when we said, okay, we want to rank for white label PPC. When we ranked for that, it was a game changer for us because all of a sudden we went from fighting hand-to-hand combat for every lead that we got to all of a sudden I'd wake up and there'd be 5 leads in my inbox ready to rock.
And you're not as concerned about the quality of that lead because you didn't directly pay for it.
Right. Yeah, you nailed it. We were talking before about sunk cost versus per transaction cost. With Google Ads, it's every click costs something. You got to look at your blended cost per lead. You got to look at your management cost, everything associated with that. With SEO, you're paying for your management fee ongoing, but once it clicks through, that management fee is going to be a fraction of the results it could deliver for you. So yes, it's still a per transaction fee, but it pales in comparison. I look at it as a sunk like cost of doing business fee.
Yeah, I mean, you can still calculate an ROI, a cost per lead for your SEO strategy, and you'll notice over time, right? You're going to start with your highest cost per lead at the beginning of the campaign, but after 6 months, year 1, year 2, you're going to notice that cost per lead is just tanking because keywords that we ranked you for in month 3 of your campaign are still yielding results with very minimal maintenance, right? While we're focusing on, keyword target number 50, you're still earning results from keyword number, driving your cost per lead down. And that's why it makes it the most scalable strategy. And it's complementary to PPC because there's a direct correlation between investment in results, right? Or investment in leads with PPC. Whereas with SEO, it kind of it will drop over time.
Yep.
But you should never I've had people say, well, can I kill my PPC now that SEO is ranking? And the answer is always no, right? Because I believe in that brand recognition. When you see a result, even if you just subconsciously scroll right by the sponsored ads at the top, your brain still registered it. Then you see it again, maybe in the local pack. Then you see it maybe again in the organic results. Your potential customer is now seeing your business name 3 times compared to your competitors who are only in the organic results or only in the map pack or only in the ads. You have a much greater chance of earning that lead.
And I'll layer on 2 things there. One is some people are ad clickers, some people are organic clickers that just click on ads. I haven't really clicked on a Google ad in years because I know it's costing someone business on the back end, and I just won't do it. I can figure out who they are and go get them and go that way. But some people just don't think like that, obviously, but they are just not ad clickers and they just don't trust it. And they go down organic to someone that has quote unquote earned that position. And then you've got the idea of building stability in the business. And we always say a healthy, stable bar stool has at least 3 legs. So build at least 3 ways to generate leads from your business and not just 1 or 2. So when people are like, should we turn ads off because SEO is rocking and rolling? If you have a capacity issue and you're a dentist office and you're literally booked and you just can't fit more people on schedule, okay. But if you're a junk removal business, which I know you have a lot of junk removal clients, you can go and get that second truck, that third truck, maybe that dumpster, maybe that you're branching off to the porta potty business. Like there's a lot you can do here where you don't
do it in larger service area, right?
Yeah.
They can grow their service area. There's a lot of different things they can do. I do think though that in the junk removal business, a ton of most people don't scroll past the ads, right? I also see a direct correlation between, if it's mainly a mobile searched keyword, right? Junk removal, 99, I would say probably 70% of all traffic is on mobile devices for junk removal keywords. You're more inclined to click that ad. But what's interesting is, how do you feel about the call ads, right? The call extensions and things like that.
We like call extensions. We're not crazy about call ads. The reason being is with with click to call ads, you're kind of you're cutting out the entire portion of a market that wants to actually also visit a landing page or a website. We like the click the call extension because it kind of kills the two birds with one stone. It gives the option to click right there, but also gives the people the option to go over to a landing page if they want to. So that, and then also click to call ads are a bit of a misnomer. It's not usually one click, one call. It's typically 2 to 6 clicks to produce a call. So it's very good marketing strategy on Google's perspective.
Yeah.
It's not really click to call.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I always found that the quality of those clicks or those calls, sometimes it's like, at least in junk removal, I've always heard, they're looking for their local, is my trash getting picked up today? Right. Yep. They just, Google they associate junk with trash. And, I don't care how many negative keywords you put in, they just rank, they just show you. Right. Yep. And people call for, they see the first phone number on the page, they call it. I think they're getting Waste Management or whoever. So I was curious what your opinion was on those.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And also, if your brand is anything like someone else's brand, you're going to get support calls for that other brand, which
that you had to buy.
Yeah. Yep. We've had calls for another company with a geek in it. Not what are they?
Geek Squad?
Not Geek Squad. Another geek company that did computer support. Not marketing, computer support, and just angry old people that have been recurringly charged and just pissed off. Like I had a call from this woman once that was just mean and left a voicemail like during dinner. This was a couple of years back, and I listened to the voicemail. It's like it was so mean, it caught me off guard. And I was like, I need to go check on this. I go up and I check her database. No record of who this woman is. I call her back and she's like, "Oh, hello, sweetheart. Sweetest lady ever."
Like, and you were able to help her fix her internet browser.
Yeah, exactly. So I ended up pointing her to the right company. But so we're on a little tangent there. We were talking about editing out tangents. All right. So let's talk SEO for local business. Walk through kind of some fundamentals, or if I'm a local business owner, let's say I'm a junk removal business. What do I need to know about SEO for my business? Is it worth it? What are some things I should be taking into account? Kind of walk me through as if I've never done it before, and I've got a junk business. I'm rocking and rolling on the ad side. I've got 2 trucks moving. I'd really like to crush my market. What should I know? What should I do?
All right. Well, let's start with the junk removal business specifically, right? You're most likely, if you're talking to one of us, you're most likely a single op. You're not a franchisee, right? But you're competing with the franchises, right? And this is going to apply to any industry that's heavy in franchises, closet installation or whatever it may be. Target the subsections of your. So if I'm in Philadelphia, right? Your primary target market is Philadelphia. That's gonna be the hardest one to rank because these major franchises don't have the resources to target the smaller sections around Philadelphia, right? So you're gonna have lower competition, and that's gonna have your lowest barrier to entry. Start there. Work your way towards targeting Philadelphia. If you're going to invest in an SEO tool like an Ahrefs or a SEMrush or Moz or whatever, use your instincts. These tools don't have the data to be relevant on a hyper local level. You'll get some data from Philadelphia. You'll get it from the major metro areas throughout the US. But as soon as you start branching out, you have to just use your instincts, know your business, right? So for example, like let's use an HVAC contractor, right?
Yep.
There's not data to show that somebody's searching for AC repair, Doylestown, PA, right? Or AC repair, Percy, Pennsylvania, or AC repair, Columbia, Maryland, or whatever it may be. But you know that search is happening, yep. Right? So you need to build that page, right? The keyword research when it comes to local isn't as standardized, right? Everybody has, you and I talk about SOPs, standard operating procedures all the time, right? The same doesn't apply on a local level because you can't just run a report, apply some filters, and make build your keyword list based on that. You have to know what's working and what's not.
Right. Guys, edit that part out, please. We'll see if it makes it.
That'll be for a different podcast.
No, that's awesome.
All right, you can use the larger, yeah.
Yep, again.
You can use the larger cities to extrapolate it out. The search terms and the way people are searching in the major metropolitan areas is going to be similar to what they're going to be doing in the smaller regions. So if I'm working with a dentist, I might see what kind, if are people searching for, dental implants, and I'll check Chicago, I'll check Miami. Or here's a great example. There's a client of ours that does divorce mediation, right? So it's an alternative to traditional litigated divorce. I wasn't sure, are people searching for divorce mediation or are they searching for divorce mediator, right? And that context makes a big difference in how we're going to rank and how we're going to target a keyword. So I used the larger cities like New York or Manhattan, Los Angeles, Dallas, Miami, and and all of them showed the same thing. They're actually searching for mediation instead of mediator. And I was able to use that and extrapolate out and run a great campaign on a smaller scale.
Got it. Okay. And what's your take on service pages and then local city service pages? Are you doing, let's stay in Bucks County as an example. It's your backyard. Are you doing junk removal Percy, or are you doing a junk removal page and then a Percy page and then linking to the junk removal page? What's your site structure look like? What are your best practices from a service and then geo-targeted approach?
9 times out of 10, we're going to, the primary service pages of the site. So when you go to services, drop down, junk removal, appliance removal, that's going to target your largest, most competitive area. So it would be, let's say, Philadelphia. Then you're going to have a service area page or locations. And that's going to target Bucks County, and we're going to target on a county level, and then we're going to break it down by city. Do not, right? Anybody listening that's going to attempt the strategy, do not just duplicate and change the city name. That's considered cookie cutter content. Your website will most likely get penalized. It may work for a short period of time, but I just came across, I had a personal injury lawyer contact me. She's like, my leads are drying up. I don't know what to do. I'm like, okay, well, she's like, I've been investing in SEO forever. I look at her site. She literally had 700 service pages that were just a duplication, and the one city was changed.
Got it. So she got filtered out.
She got filtered out. Her website brought zero value to the internet, right? And think about it, right? People are going to stop using Google as soon as they stop serving the best possible results. So if you don't bring any value, and this is what's coming in with AI, right? You can use AI content, but you need to edit it. You need to make sure that it's high quality, that you're not just, it's not a volume game, it's a quality game. And if you can use data to support your location pages, there's ways to find how much, junk is added to local dumps in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, right? And you can add that to that page. It's unique, right? Now you added another unique element. So that's really the service area pages do work, right? And they work really, really well. But you have to put the effort in. It's not an easy, just duplicate and go.
Got it. Okay. So you do, so on your location pages, you've got one master page for Bucks County, then listing down all of those are clickable pages to say Percy, and Percy would be like junkcompany.com/junk removal Percy PA. Is that
you got it? 100%. That would be the, I try to keep everything out of folders, right? In the URL structure. Most of these sites aren't going to grow to, 5,000 pages. It's not a massive e-commerce store. So you don't need, a major folder structure, right? Make it as easy for Google to crawl. Okay. So Google, we're dealing with an algorithm here. There's no human being anywhere in the world that's making the decisions about where people's rank. Well, there's the Google raters, but that's a topic for another time. So you have to be explicit with what you want, right? Put your keyword exact in the first H1. Okay. Put it in a variation of it in your first H2, include it in your first sentence, include it in your last sentence, and include it in your URL, your title tag, and your meta description. So I just gave you about 10 places to put your keyword on the page. And now you've made it explicitly clear what this page is about. Add a little bit of schema markup, which is a structured language that the crawlers can understand very, very clear. Add the keyword in the alt tags to your images. And ultimately, if you're any type of business, you should be out taking pictures. Any phone from the last 10 years is high quality enough to publish online. You should have custom images on your website. If you're using stock images, then that's first thing you should do. Get rid of all stock images and use custom. It just makes your website stand out from all the rest.
Got it. Let me ask you a question on the localized. Let's go back to junk removal Percy. Let's say I also want to do hoarding clean out in Percy. Is that a subpage of the subpage, or is that, how would you break that out again? How would you break that out?
I'm still going to put that on the top level, right? So it'd be domain.com/hoarding clean out Percy. I'm a big fan of not, I mean, unless you're an e-commerce store with 1,500 pages or 5,000 pages, then you have to break things down by collection category.
Yep.
But even at this site, you know, even if you worked on SEO for 15 years on one of these junk removal sites, I mean, maybe it hits 1,000 pages, which in the grand scheme of a website may sound like a lot, because most times when you start a website, it's less than 30 pages.
Yep.
It's not that big of a site, right?
Got it.
Where you're going to get into more trouble is, you know, technical SEO. When we start talking about crawl depth and how many clicks deep some of these pages get, and that's where you have to develop a much deeper strategy.
Got it. Okay. So how what's your favorite approach for something like that? With the, I mean, do we even go that deep? That's probably too deep of a
That's
question.
like that. Yeah, that's part two.
Part two. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So all right. So we've talked a lot of the on-page stuff. I mean, just the snippet you nailed 90 seconds ago about making sure your main keyword is the main thing. Make the main thing the main thing. It's in the URL, it's in the title, it's in the meta, it's in the description, it's the alt tag and the images. So walk me through a GMB. So I typically look at SEO and I think three things. It's on page, it's site structure and on page, it's GMB, and then it's link building. Is that kind of a fair assessment on three big things?
Yeah, for local businesses, those are the most important things.
Okay. So let's talk GMB or GPB, whatever the hell it's called.
GBP, right? Google Business Profile. They're changing it on us for no reason.
Yeah.
Again. So first of all, we always want to be mindful of not getting our GBP profile banned, right? Suspended, because it's very risky making changes to it. Okay. So follow the guidelines. Don't try and cheat. Don't try and take a shortcut here. Because getting them reinstated can be difficult. So your profile name, right, should always be your exact business name. If you were to put a sign out front of your shop, right, that what sign's on it? What's on your business card? Don't keyword stuff. Okay, it's not going to benefit you. Make sure that your primary service category is exactly what you do, okay, or what you want people to know that you do. One great thing to do is type your primary keyword target into Google in an incognito window. Always use incognito because Google's the search results are tailored towards your history and what Google thinks you want to see. So go incognito, type it in, look at what the top ranking in the map pack, what the top ranking competitors are doing with their primary category. Take it. So if it's waste management service, do that. If it's physical therapist, then use physical therapist. If it's physical therapy clinic, then do that one. Okay. That minor detail actually does make a difference. Include your keyword and have a unique business description, about at least 300 words. Okay. And try and include some of the keywords that you do want to rank for in there. Make sure that your business hours are updated. Make sure that your name, your address, and your phone number all match what's on your website. If you're a multi-location business, that complicates things a little bit more. Maybe I think we should talk about that another time. What else? Use Google Posts. Okay. I know it sounds like a little bit, if you look at the metrics, and you look at how many people view your Google post, it's going to be 1, it's going to be 4, it's going to be 2. And you're like, why am I doing this? You're doing it for the algorithm. Okay. An active profile is going to have one leg up on an inactive profile. And number one, right, have a review generation strategy. Okay. It can be as simple as, when you shake hands, ask for the review. And just remember that your client satisfaction is going to be highest when you complete the job. Okay. And then as soon as you hand them that invoice, that satisfaction level starts to drop. Okay. So if you can find a way to say, hey, listen, I'm just going to prepare your invoice right now. Right. Would you, while you're waiting, would you mind leaving me a review on Google? Here's a QR code. Can you, it works brilliantly. And the more reviews you get, the better. And ultimately, it's hard to coach people on what to say in a review, but if they start using the keywords that you want to rank for in your reviews, it's kind of, think of it like as a GBP backlink, right? They know Google, oh, well, they talked about the junk removal service that they completed. They talked about the car detailing, how well the car was detailed in the review. And that generates a lot of topical relevance.
Very true. Okay, let's talk off-site link building. What is your take on link building? Kind of walk through, let's go through a site that's never really done any link building. What should they be doing?
You should start link building, right?
Yeah.
Think of it this way, okay? I could put on my website, elevatedaudience.com, that I am the #1 orthopedic surgeon in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. And I bet I could probably rank moderately well in Bucks County, right? You don't want me to perform orthopedic surgery on you, okay? So my point is that I control anything I put on my website, right? And Google understands that. The algorithm understands that. But what's implied is that I can't control what somebody else puts on their website. So if somebody else is writing an article and they link back to my website or your website, it's a trust signal. And this is the foundation of Google's algorithm. It is an algorithm based on trust signals. Okay. So I'm a believer that building backlinks is the #1 thing that you should be doing. Now, there's a lot of agencies and SEO contractors out there that don't do it. And I think it's because it's hard and it's expensive. Okay. As much as you can read the Google guidelines and they're going to say, don't buy links. The only way to get a link right now is to buy it. Okay. That's what the internet is all about. It's a money machine. It's a business transaction. So now there's good links, there's bad links, there's gray hat links, there's black hat links, there's Web 2.0. I mean, there's a million different things. Ultimately, if you're a local business, the best link you can get, let's say you're a car detailer in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, is another car detailer in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Your direct competition is not going to link to you. So maybe you can find a car detailer in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, or in Virginia, or then maybe you can find a mechanic in Bucks County to link to you. So think about topical relevance and local relevance when you're building links. So that's SEO backlink strategy 101.
Got it. Okay. And what should someone be thinking about spending SEO wise? If they're going to hire a service, assuming they're not going to do this themselves, what's kind of a range someone would be looking to pay for SEO services? And I know, and maybe talk about kind of what to avoid in pricing.
Yeah. So if somebody's going to do SEO for you for $300 a month, you should run. There's nothing that you can do. Understand that SEO is a monthly engagement. It's an investment. It's a marketing strategy, just like PPC, just like Facebook ads, just like, a direct mail campaign. For budget wise, it depends on your niche, depends on your vertical. It depends on, your budget. You're probably, for a quality SEO campaign, you're looking minimum $1,000 a month, right? Maybe you can find something without a backlink strategy. But if we're going to build those links cost about $150 pop, right? So you need to have that investment. On average, in the home service business, we're looking at about $1,500 to $2,500 a month to start for an SEO campaign. But they scale up from there. It's all about how aggressive you want to be, right? If they service 2 states, right, then we have a lot of service area, a lot of ground to cover. We need to be producing a lot of content and a lot of links every month. Yep. If they're in a small market, right, where they service 1 town, right, or they're a brick and mortar store, we're 1,000, maybe slightly less, depending on what's needed. It really all depends.
Got it. Any mind-blowing results come to mind when you think of like who your favorite client is, types of results you've delivered for somebody? Is there anyone that pops to mind that you can kind of give like, hey, we started this guy, he's generating 5 leads a month, he's now generating 50 leads a month or 100? Or is there anyone that pops to mind?
Yeah. So believe it or not, one of my first first major clients that I took on in a really competitive space was a cannabis delivery service in Washington, D.C. So shortly after cannabis was legalized for recreational use, when I started working with them, they were doing about really only $3,500 a month in revenue. And after about 8 months, they were doing about $85,000 a month in revenue. And what we did was our initial strategy. Now, what's interesting about cannabis is you can do zero paid advertising. Your only marketing strategy is SEO.
Yeah.
You know that. But they wanted to rank for DC weed delivery. Hyper competitive. Every cannabis, every dispensary wants to rank for that. So we started targeting Virginia weed delivery, Northern Virginia. And there was so much business there that they built an entire business just off of Virginia. And now we actually recently spun off a whole new website, a whole new brand, and we're going with an exact matched domain strategy for DC because it's just so competitive that it makes sense. And in that business, if when you grow that much, they have the capital to build a whole new website, put the processes in place to run 2 e-commerce stores. But that was a pretty cool strategy. A pretty cool campaign. And then, there was a junk removal company here in Philadelphia. It's how I actually got into the junk removal niche. And he was day one, right? Started with a small PPC campaign. He had another agency running that. And we grew him from, 12 leads a month to, he's getting 180 leads a month now. And we're pulling up on 2 years.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm a proponent of SEO. It can be a life-changing thing. Once it's done correctly, you could reap the benefits of it for a long time. It becomes really cost efficient, and you wake up and there's leads in your inbox, and any other marketing you do on top of that becomes it starts to create this snowball effect. So I'm a huge fan of SEO. Anything you'd want to drop off or end the interview with? Anything else local biz owners should know?
Yeah. So if you're already working with ClickSeek or any PPC company, or you're running PPC ads, I'll tell you what, the most valuable data you can get is from that search terms report in your Google Ads account. Okay. It's actual real-time information of how people are searching for your business that your competition may or may not even know about, right? But an exact keyword you can target that may not be a real keyword because the tools don't show it, but you have quantifiable proof that people are searching that way. And if you produce a content asset targeting it that way, you're a leg up on your competition. So this is why PPC and SEO work so well together. And when there's an active campaign and we're working together on a project, it's just an unstoppable approach.
Mm-hmm. And think about when you're thinking about pages and to invest in the content for the page, think about, even if it says there's zero search volume, even if it says there's nothing there, think about what the job is potentially worth to you. And I use hoarding as an example. Hoarding clean out or estate clean out, Percocet PA, something like that. It could be a $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 job versus, say, an appliance removal Percocet. It's like both could have zero search volume, but one could be a $150 job and one could be a $5,000 job. So strategically think about where you place your assets and where you put your money as you're building your website.
And how you prioritize them, right? Eventually there'll be a time and a place to target that appliance removal, but you got to start with the ones that are going to generate the highest ROI.
Yep. Awesome. All right, Jared, thank you very much for today. I'm going to stop the recording. Where can people find you?
You find me at elevatedaudience.com. That's probably the best place to reach me, or elevated.audience on Instagram.
Cool. I'll drop a link below to that. I'm going to stop the recording.